Hello, everybody. This is Eliz-Sha from WisdomSeekers.net, and we're a group of people who do readings, as I'm about to prove to you. But at this moment, first of all, I'm going to chit-chat for a bit, and I'm going to talk about living with trauma, because right now a lot of us are living with trauma. It's very difficult. It's not something that's simple. It depends, too, on a lot of things. One of the things that it depends upon is where you've cleared your energy and where you haven't cleared your energy. And with you haven't cleared your energy, then it's a hook that it hurts. If you have cleared your energy, then it's, even for the best of us, it's not exactly smooth sailing, but it's something we can look at and go, okay, I understand that, and surf or go ride the waves, so to speak. If it's a hook, and it will pull us under. Right now, because we're living in what I class as free fall or chaos energy, the chaos part of free fall, it's very difficult. And I have a lot of people messaging me with, "Oh my God," rather than, "Hey, I've got a problem. Can you help me?" It's, "Oh my God," and then we try to work our way through it. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But the best thing I can do is help you pay attention to what you are thinking yourself. So when you go into the trauma at the moment, do, when you can, reach out and have somebody be there with you. It's not going to take away the pain or the hurt, but it will make you more resilient. And mostly, one of the things I've noticed, and I have people do constantly, is they go into trauma, but they don't go deep into it. They try to stay on the surface, so they don't feel it. And I'm going to tell you, feel it. Go down to the deepest part of it and let it go. Then you can deal with what needs to be dealt with. But until you go deep into the pain and the hurt and cry and scream if you need to, doesn't matter as long as you sit in it. And when you sit in it, it makes a change. It lightens the energy a little bit so that you can go back and look at it more dispassionately. And once you've done that, you can deal with the situation. And you may be doing the exact what you're going to do with the situation. You reach out and get support or help or deal with what needs to be dealt with. You may be doing that anyhow, but you can do that with a little bit more balance. Hey, Jennifer. So many people are suffering from trauma right now. And that's, again, like I said before, it's because we're in free fall right now. And nothing seems to be exactly logical, because we will be juxtapositioned against something really wonderful. And oh my God, that hurts. I don't know how to deal with it. Again, sit in the pain, feel the pain. And if you do it right, if you feel it particularly, you should have a maximum of 30 seconds of full exposure. Once you have hey Maddie, once you have the full exposure of it, then it doesn't have the same bite to it that it did before. And if something comes out of the blue and it does trigger you, find what the trigger points are and deal with those trigger points. And they may be trigger points you've dealt with over and over and over again. It doesn't matter. They're a different layer, different level. Go for those trigger points. Again, you need help. Get help. Don't be an island unto yourself. We live in a quantum universe, which means everything is connected. Everything is part of a whole. This tarot card is a good example of why or how we are connected. because I pull the tarot cards for somebody and it gives them the answer they're looking for. How can that happen? It can't happen unless we're connected. So please feel free to reach out to whomever. Some people have therapists, some people have good friends, some people have drinking buddies. However you need it, reach out. What else can I think of? Make sure you eat right. Make sure you have good protein, good greens, good everything, and stay away from pre-prepared meals, which means Cheerios, Swanson dinners, things like that. I'm sure I'm not supposed to mention those things, so please don't listen to that. But things that are already made, don't go there. Make your own from scratch. And make sure you get sleep. 8 hours. And it doesn't matter if you get 8 hours or not. Give yourself at least the opportunity to sleep for 8 hours. And that makes a huge, huge difference. What else? So rest, relaxation. Allow yourself space to be alone, and which is not different from when I said reach out. Sometimes you want to give a few minutes alone when it's just you, nobody else. And sometimes you don't. What else? Let me think for a second. I can't think of anything right now. There's so many things you can do with trauma. And I should have got Maddie on because she's been going, she found a group of people who help her. They do Reiki, they do massage, they listen to the people talk. And obviously Maddie's enjoying it thoroughly because they help for the trauma, because she's including other breath work, right? There's so much you can do. And just going for a simple walk, sometimes in nature, and with your nature is walking along a pathway that's made especially for walking, do it. And also animals. If you've got an animal that will allow you to pet it. No, cats are generally not that good, but dogs, horses, rabbits, they're pretty good. And even Gila monsters are good too, I think. Because I've seen pictures of Gila monsters that will hug the person. So like I said, Maddie's found a group of people that are supporting her, and those people probably got involved because they needed the support at one time. And so I do believe most of it's volunteer work. But that's the way you do it. You pass along too. You help others. And by helping others, that helps you to deal with your own trauma. Believe it or not, it makes a difference. Or if you've got something that you really love to do, go and do it. So like I really love to work with wire. And at the moment I can't because my arm, I can't do anything. And that causes me a bit of stress, but not trauma. But when I have a chance to work with it, it doesn't take up my full mind, but it takes up enough of it so that I can look at things. Thank you. So I can look at things from slightly detached. And that's another trick that you want to learn, is to look at things from a third-party perspective. Because when you're in a situation, you've got blinders on. You can't see the full thing. But if you can step out and look at it from a different perspective, it makes a huge difference. And what conclusions you come to, how you're going to deal with it, and everything like that. 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes in. Pretty darn good, eh? There's only 2 people on that I know of.
3 if you count Elle.
Well, Elle too, but she doesn't have always a chance to go away from me. Yeah, you're right. It's not always easy. Hey, Laurie, long time. It's not always easy. And I'm not saying that trauma is going to be gone with because you do these things. I'm saying these are ways of dealing with it, of helping you to deal with it. And I think one of the biggest things of all is support. And that's because when people are going through trauma, they feel alone. That's why, like I said, Maddie, she reaches out and she found this group of people who support her. And can you reach them at all hours of the night and day? Probably not, but that's also all right. It's not always easy to do that, but the more you practice, the more you try, the easier it is. And sometimes, so for instance, there's somebody, and I've been trying for a long, long time to get them to understand that the relationship she would like is not valuable. It's not for her particularly. And finally, after years, I said, okay, look at it, look at their aura, and she described the color, and look at your aura. And she described the color. I said, the 2 of them match, and they don't. And for a little bit, she clicked and understood that it didn't match and it was not going to match. So you do it little bit by little bit. You don't have to do it all in one step. And certain traumas are never going to go away. Certain traumas are there for the rest of your life. And certain traumas aren't. Like, for instance, my arm, it's doing really well. Will I have full mobility back? I kind of don't think so. So I have this trauma for the rest of my life. And I know for 100% fact that my hand is never going to work the same way. So will I be able to do this? I may not. And that causes me stress, not trauma, but stress, because I love doing it. But will I find a workaround? I will do my dangest to do that. And how do I do that? And I look at it from a third-party perspective. But yeah, I'm not saying any of this is easy, Maddie. Some of it's really not easy, especially when it's fresh and new and painful. But also, one of the best ways is to donate your time to others who are in the same situation. Because when you're doing that, it's hard to think about what you're going through, because they're fresher than yours, or it's different kind of trauma, but you share it, and shared always makes it easier. I'm fine, Jennifer. If the doctors had chosen to do the hand faster, I would have had my hand. They didn't. I can't do anything about it. So what I'm going to do, and this came from a third party, it wasn't something I thought about. I didn't even class come through my mind. I'm going to look up some exercises for the hand and strengthen my hand so I can use it to the best of my ability. It won't take it back to what it was, but it'll be sufficient. And I'm going to go with, okay, that's fine. And okay, if you have any questions, there's not that many people on, so I can answer questions quite easily. Please feel free to ask them, because I think I've pretty well shot shot my whole, what can you do with trauma and everything. But in the meantime, um, the other day I made bran muffins and I threw in, because I can't measure right now. I just grab and throw. I put in too much baking soda. And that meant that when I baked it, it bubbled up and spilled over. And my oven was very full of bran muffin. It's very, so anyhow, we got our oven cleaned today. Thank you, Elle.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Jennifer says I lost feeling in my hand for 6 months after. Oh wow, yeah, it affected a nerve. That's really cool. No, in my case, the ligament is broken, and they won't rejoin it because they left it so long. The arthritis got too bad. But I'm going to work on it and make it as strong as I possibly can. Hey, Maddie. Yeah, they're the same ones. They're similar because each time I just grab stuff what I have in the house. And you ask me for the directions, the recipe. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, I don't know how to give you this recipe because I just grab by the head. I can't measure right now because I'm right-handed, not left-handed. And everything's in a bag. And I go, if I put the measuring cup into the bag, half the stuff tips out before I can get it out of the bag. So I just reach in and grab and guess. Like this time, the bran muffins taste more like oatmeal bran muffins, right? They're okay. They're not fully bran muffined. And again, I'll have to wait till they dry or cool down to see. But I think they're pretty good. But I do guessing by golly cooking, and so sometimes it's really good, sometimes they're really bad, and yeah. But thank you. I bought a bunch of dried cranberries. I put in this last batch. No questions? No questions at all? If I hang up, it'd be 60 seconds. It'll be 60 seconds behind, so I'm a little leery about hanging up too fast.
Question.
How cool. Let's see. I have been having dry eyes that are causing them to be slightly red. Vision is fine. You know what I did when my eyes started to do that? I used castor oil and I put it on the lid right here. You can use coconut oil, but castor oil is a sleeping prophet. Edgar Cayce recommended it, and even though he was in the 1800s, I have a great deal of respect for his early work, and so that's what I did. I put castor oil on my lids, and that helped a lot. So, and I don't recommend the eye drops that you buy over the counter unless they're chemical free, because they will, and after a while, end up giving you allergies to your eyes. But yeah, castor oil is what I use, and I use it for years. I now have had cataract surgery, so I'm a little leery about using anything like oil on my eyes, but I think I did the research back then, which was like 15, 20 years ago. So I'm usually pretty good at researching before I do. I just don't pop it on, but I can't tell you if that's what it is, but I'm pretty certain I did research, and castor oil is what I would recommend. Okay, that was a cool one. That's not psychic, but that's cool.
There's no more questions right now.
Yeah, they just did a recall on 2 eye drops. That's why I was thinking. And my mother was horribly allergic to it. But castor oil is probably cheaper. You can get it anywhere, and you don't need a lot. Just a thin amount. psychic questions, I guess. Let's see. Maddie. You're going to win a windfall at the casino again. I'm sorry, that's a joke. Maddie is the best luck I've ever met of anybody I know. So saying that she's going to get a windfall at the casino, no brainer. You can ask trauma questions if you want, but basically what I'm on here, I just do a little bit of talk.
Remind the people that we're here.
And remind the people we're here so that people don't forget us. Do I see anything good? Maddie, we'll talk about that separately because we had that talk already, right? You keep looking in the wrong places and for the wrong things because you get a heck of a lot of really wonderful things happening around you, but and it's where you put your focus. So my daughter just wrote, hello. She's half Mexican, as you can tell. She drops her H's, or she's from England or something. Yeah, I know but the thing is, Maddie, that's the chaos that we're living through right now. I don't know how many, oh my God, calls I have gotten in the last 4 days alone. And I had somebody message me today. And I'm going, but he hasn't got any questions. Why is he asking me? And as he hung up, he says, thank you for being my therapist. Well, I mean, it was a 20-minute reading kind of thing, but it was just, he just reached, that's the trauma, right? He was had a lot of anxiety, so he just reached out just for support. And that's probably one of the reasons I chose trauma today. Not that he was in trauma, but he just needed a little bit of support. So I have 4 weeks left, is it? In this thing, I think. I have still 4 weeks left. I'm almost there. I'm so excited. Hey, Maria. And after 2 more weeks of the level of exercise I'm doing now, and then 2 weeks of, I don't know what, I cannot understand what they're writing, honestly. They're all exercises that I cannot do. I have to do with support from the other hand. Oh, I'm not healed, and that's just the beginning. Then I have to do the stuff for the because that's just the rotary cuff healing. Then I haven't used my arm basically for a year. Then I have to learn how to use my arm again. It's because I can't get my hand this far over. I don't have the mobility to get it this far over. So there's a lot of things that I still have to do. Yay's me. And yeah, so we've been on 24 minutes. Nobody has any questions. Do you have a Haley, hang on. Her children are going to be well spaced. That's true. So I've done a tiny bit of reading years ago. When she has intimate relationships, put put a pillow under her hips and stay there. Don't get up right away. Don't go have a shower. Just stay there with your hips raised for a good, I think, probably as long as you can handle it, a minimum of half an hour. And that will make a difference. But I do think there will be quite a spread between children. I do see another one. And I'm not quite sure how old your Haley's child is now. I think it's about 2, maybe. So it will be at least. I'm not gonna even give a thing, but and no milk products. If you want to get pregnant, don't drink milk products, which includes cheese.
But you don't drink cheese.
You don't, but it is still a milk product. So there's a potential that she'll get pregnant this next year because the child is at least 3 when the second or close to 3 when the second one is born. Cheese. So you should also check if you want the body to be in what level of pH balance you want it in, and that would mean eat less sugar, which is a good advice anyhow. Don't, if you're going to have sugar, look for cane sugar or coconut sugar. Do not use the fake sugars. It's turning out that they're not good for you health-wise. White sugar is absolute poison. So look for the pH balance too. And now I have to put in the writer. I am not a medical. This is just stuff I've read. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a nurse, nothing like that. I am just passing along information I know from having read, which may be well out of date because my kids are all in their 30s now. It would be nice, but I think 3 years between is kind of a nice distance for kids. At least my first one is 3 years older than my second one. I didn't think I was going to get pregnant again. She came along. And then my last one came and I didn't know I was pregnant for 4 months because she was no morning sickness, nothing. It was quite nice. It was the best pregnancy anyone could hope for, honestly. And not only that, I had 5 minutes hard labor and she popped out. So yeah, super easy. And I kept saying with all the babies came that easily, we would have world overpopulation. Turns out that is a fallacy. It turns out that the world is actually going into a massive population decline. Canada has it a little better because we have a lot of people coming in from outside of the country, from immigrants. We have a lot of immigrants. So we're okay for a few more years. But other countries, the next 10 years, they're going to crash and burn. Especially I'm talking about first world countries. I'm not talking about third world countries. Third world countries are a little bit behind us. Yeah, she's not so easy anymore, is she?
I'm 30. You no longer take responsibility for my shit.
I no longer take responsibility for her. That's true. Yes, that's right. Dr. Huberman has a new podcast about pH and that alkaline water could help with absorption with current studies. Studies are mixed on replacement sugars. The ones I've read, all the well, I don't like them, period, because they act like sugar and your body reacts like it's sugar, but they're not sugar. So you're still getting the negatives of sugar.
Plus added extra poison.
Plus, a lot of them, like the monk sugar, has added, most of them have added other sugars in with the monk. So I'd stay away from them myself. And I do think Dr. Huberman is an amazing man. You know, people who are good moms love being moms. And Maddie laughs. I have an alkaline stick that I put in my water bottle. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, the dopamine, but it also affects the body so that it still stores fat the same way as regular sugars. And that's it. Actually, people who eat these, what's the sugar? Aspartame was made as an ant killer. Did not sell. So what did they do? They turned it around and sold it to human beings. On the thing it says, don't give to children, don't give to pregnant mothers. But yeah, I am absolutely opposed to eating ant poison, really. That's me. But I like, if you're going to have a dopamine rush from sugar, use coconut sugar, use sugar cane sugar, the ones that are organic. And that's what I do, because I like sweets. I have a sweet tooth, unfortunately. So I try to make the best of it by having the best sugars I can. And absolutely stay away from cornstarch, corn syrup, and things like that. That is extremely bad for your health. It looks like you do a lot of research, Mysterious Moon. And that's something I highly recommend. I personally do a lot of research, do a lot of reading, do a lot of YouTube surfing for people like Dr. Huberman. And if you look at my YouTube, most of the people I watch are really smart people, like Dr. Jordan Peterson, Patrick. I don't remember the names, but I find them very, very entertaining, very interesting. And I guess we get to stop because, well, it's half an hour and nobody's come up with any questions. Another thing you can put into your water is clear crystals. You have to be very careful what crystals you put into your water, because some of them are actually poisonous. And so clear crystal is safe, rose quartz is safe. Rose quartz, I think it's, but before you put them in, do research to make sure they're not poisonous or toxic, because some of the stones are very toxic. But it does make a difference to the water. It tastes. It makes a difference to the taste, and it does add. I'm not exactly sure what it adds, but I know I love the flavor of it. And I do believe Maddie's got a water jar with big crystals in it. So okay, I'm going to call it for tonight, and maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I don't think tomorrow, because I do have a reading. Tourmaline, is it's got a lot of really good things with it, but it's specific. It has specific uses, and it's generally a protection. So yeah, it would probably be okay. I like black tourmaline, but I do have blue tourmaline. The tourmaline I wouldn't put in my water because it splinters. I like hard.
Crystal.
I like hard so that it stays hard. So, for instance, selenite, it's a salt. You put it in your water, it's gone. You never wash it.
Also, never use tiger's eye because
Tiger's eye is
it's
poisonous.
when in contact with liquid.
Yeah, tiger's eye is a big no-no. So, yeah. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for being here. And namaste, namasko, and I love you, and you do love. Bye. Take care.